Hello, my friends, and today is Mother's Day. I was sent this picture through my cousin, Rita. She sent me this picture quite earlier this morning. I figured I might as well just send it to my Twitter feed because, well, it's on my phone, so anything that I do get on my phone as far as pictures are concerned, I usually just send them straight to my Twitter feed. Now, for those who are wondering, I lost my mom 3 years ago. Not only that, but the years prior to that, I lost well, two of my three aunts prior before that. So this picture is that of my mom and her sisters, namely my aunts. So, well, it's been a while since I've actually talked about my family. And part of me is, how should I say? Well, you can tell in my voice I'm feeling pretty, part of me is, almost feeling like crying right about now at this point. So apologies if I sound sort of like not my usual cheery self. But, in order, going from, I guess I can go left to right, I think, or right to left. But, elephant. Going from right to left, the one in the red is my Aunt Lou, short for Lavinia. In life, I always called her Auntie Sister. Don't know why, but I think because they called her sister. So when I always met her, I always called her Auntie Sister instead of Aunt Lou. Next to her, the tall one is my Aunt Betty. And as you can tell, she was the prettiest of the she was the prettiest of the three. And when I was a little boy, I just told her, I'm Betty. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen. And well, next to her is my mom. Uh, yeah. Mhm. And well, we all know about my mom. I mean, she's the reason why I'm the way I am. And on the other end, next to her is the only one that's still alive, my Aunt Daisy, or as she is known in the family, Aunt Cookie. Um, gosh, my eyes are tearing up after looking at this. In life, the four of them were a group. They were called the Delta Harmonettes. They used to sing, mind you. From what I remember, my mom was an alto. I'm a tenor. So, coming from a musical background, I do have a fond appreciation of the arts. Well, they used to do a lot of music, and gospel was very strong in our family. So therefore, gospel was a thing in our family. So guess what? You heard either singing coming from one of them, or while in church. Excuse me. While in church, I've also woken up too. So it was basically the four of them, and I often wonder if they actually became more more famous than they were as a singing group. I often wondered about that. For the most part, I will never know because it was very short-lived, and for what it was worth, they have pretty much played a large impact in my life than I first thought. So about these four, you probably want to know about this, and I pretty much want to know myself. Um, why women play a part in my life? Why they have a strong impact in my life? Yeah, these are my four reasons. Because pretty much the women of my family raised me. These four in particular raised me. When I was growing up, I used to visit Louisiana. So you can tell this was taken in Louisiana. LeConte, my guess, because this was, I believe, taken at my aunt. Yeah, this was taken at Aunt Lou's house. Usually, most times, my mom would go by herself, or I would go with her, because it would either be me or her, or me and her, or me by myself. I mean, I can't say that the males in my life, the men folk of the family didn't play an impact in my life, but the women played a stronger impact in my life. Because, well, like I said, when I was a boy, pretty much when they got together, they would just, I don't know, for some reason they just giggle like girls talking about the old days when they were growing up and everything else. If anything, if they were still alive, save my Aunt Daisy because she's still alive. If the other three were still alive, that would give me a reason to go back to Louisiana, at least just to see them. Because aside from my mom, Aunt Daisy is the only one that knows I'm an author. I think my Aunt Lou knows that I'm an author as well, but I'm not entirely sure. And I lost track of who went first. But I, but I, but I feel who went first in order of succession of death. I feel my Aunt Betty went first, then my Aunt Lou, then my mom. And like I said, I'll be honest. Mother's Day and Father's Day really do hit a sore spot for me because I am not right when it comes to these days. It's basically a bit of static interference when that happens. It's like in it's like when a certain month comes around, I don't feel right. Like February, I don't feel right when February rolls around. But I'm okay when the rest of the year is fine. When April comes around, I'm excited because oh hey, birthdays birthdays happen, and of course April 5th is was my mom's birthday, or is my mom's birthday. Take your pick. So what we usually do is we usually go out on my birthday, just because we celebrate the whole month of April, because that was a thing as well. We usually go out to lunch. We have our birthday lunch dinner, and then we go back home, have a cake, and you know that'd be our evening. Um, what I do remember was, like I told you, my mom my mom basically is the reason who I am today, and the reason why I am who I am is because of her. Because she taught me how to play video games. She taught me how to speak properly because I had, a speech impediment. And it was my lisp. I couldn't say thunder like the th sound in thunder. I said thunder with an F instead of a th. Well, yeah, it's because of her, my mom, that I have an interest in the video games I play now. The ones that have never been heard of because not many people know about them. So you want to know about the chest of obscurity? That's the reason. That's the reason why I do chest of obscurity, because of her, I do certain games that I've never even heard of or knew about, just because of that. Also in life, what my mom did was she took me to well, not Little Tokyo, but it's West LA. We went to a store. It used to be an anime shop in West LA, and it was right next to a hamburger place and what am I thinking of? It was in a not so big not so big shopping center, and it was basically, from what I remember, there was Hamburger Habit, a newsstand, Bonsai Anime, that's the place I went to, and Hamburger Hamlet. Now Hamburger Hamlet is still going strong. The newsstand is still about the same, but a little wider. Bonsai Anime closed down years ago. And last time I remember going up there was when I was a teenager. And the last thing I remember getting from there was a Sailor Moon movie book. And it was for Sailor Moon R. I'm trying to look in the back to see if I still have that movie. Well, yeah, I still have Sailor Moon R, but I'm pretty sure it's like somewhere in that VHS collection of mine. Because what I'm looking at right now is Toy Story, Kiki's Delivery Service, and The Lion King. And like I said, I got like a bunch of VHS in my collection. When I went to Japan, it was my mom that kept me abreast of my manga. So every time I get a care package from her, she sent me a couple of books, and in that batch was Yu Yu Hakusho. So I can say, because of her, she basically just said, here, just in case, because I'm thinking about you, she sent me this. She learned how to use messaging on web TV, and that was when I was in Japan. But man, the times we had, I can only say, when I stayed with my aunt, I only stayed with her for at least 2 weeks, because after that, I stayed with my grandparents. So 2 days I stayed with my aunt. The rest of the time during my stay was with my grandparents. So usually during that time I would see the four of them, my mom and her and her sisters, and sometimes I would see my uncle Horace, as he was known in life was Uncle Junior, because he was named after his dad, which was my grandpa, Horace, or Papa. So I usually stay with my grandparents during summertime, and the usual thing be those four would have a get together, laugh, talk, that sort of thing. I could say I do miss my family. When it was that lively. Even where I am right now, which is, my headquarters, the tank I have. Um, I do miss it. I do miss the fact that even those times that I didn't want anybody to bug me, I didn't mind anybody in this house bugging me, namely my cousin. If it wasn't my cousin, it would be mom, and she would peek in on me, and I just said, I would just give her a little wave and just say, "Hi, mom. How you doing?" In the early years of my channel, um, every time I did a project, and when I got to the end of it, there's a reason why I would say good night, mom, because um, when she was alive, she heard me. She's like one of the few people who actually heard me across the house because their bedroom is like right across from mine. The bathroom separating the two. So from where I am, my room, laundry room, bathroom, their room, because it's like from a distance, it's an H. So here, laundry, kitchen, living room, bedroom. Originally there were two bedrooms. This room used to be a den, so I made it into well, through some help, made it into my room. As you can tell, it's very hard to reminisce because when you think about it, and as I'm thinking about it, you feel this connection to those you actually do miss seeing. And I really do miss seeing this group right here, this group. I miss seeing my mom with her sisters. Whenever they get together, it was laughter. Can't get rid of it. It was contagious. And even now, when I go on my walks and I hear, acoustic singing, I'll say that. Whenever I hear acoustic singing, I'm being reminded of my mom and her sisters. Normally, I would be on this day I would be doing something about voiceover work and whatnot, but something came up and we had to reschedule. Anyway, regardless of how this turns out, right now I'm just getting this out because, like I said, there are certain times in which I feel disturbed, and not the kind of disturbed you think, but it's just like a natural level of disturbance. May being Mother's Day, May 10th being Mother's Day is very tough because of that. And then there's next door, which is June, and which is going to be Father's Day. And then after that, then there's going to be the 4th of July. Aside from that, the only thing I have is memories. Memories of a better time in which I just wanted to be in awe of it. I miss having friends over the house. I miss actually having seeing people over by the house. Whether they were going to stay for a while or not stay that long. You know, the fact that we have people come over here, talk, and sometimes they peep in on me and just say hi, that's it. And they carry on. I do miss it. And I do miss visits. Uh, I do miss visiting Louisiana for that reason. So with that, for those who still have your moms, your grandmas, and your aunts, give them a nice big hug. Let them know how much you love them. And not just today, but for every day. As long as they live, as long as you can see them. You let them know how much you care about them. That's all I could say. So with that, this has been me, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever I'm doing.